Body kick again.
All through every word, Warriors' voice will be heard. Whoa. That's right.
Yes, Sirski, we are motherfucking back in the building. The Warriors voice, yes, we've been gone for a little while, but that's because I had to travel to Dubai to go see Karate Combat 54, which we'll be talking about today. And also, had a little technical difficulties the week before with our streaming stuff. So we're back at it like we never left. And I'm excited to get into this one. Yeah, it's good to be back, bro. Good to be back on the stateside. I feel sick as shit. Seems to be a constant struggle for me when I go out of the country, coming back. So you hear a little bit of that today just because, yeah, I'm recovering. But we had to bring this show to you today. My boy Picker's got to go out of town this weekend, and I could not let this week go by without talking about what the fuck just happened in Dubai, man. Because a lot of shit happens. A lot of shit happens. So before we actually get into the main topics we're going to talk about today, I actually have some updates. I talked to Mr. Leo Gomez, our matchmaker extraordinaire, who put together that beautiful card along with Fazu and President Awesome on his last card, 16 world champions. Absolutely insane. I want to just give a good clap for them real quick. That was an amazing fucking card. I think all of us, the fans and the staff, everybody enjoyed it a lot, and I can't wait for the next one. But with that being said, Adam Noy did win that fight, which was the number one contender fight. So that will be solidified for him and Arturo Vergara to be fighting July 18th for the Bantamweight Championship. Arturo's first defense, which is a beautiful defense because it's one of the best strikers in the division that he'll be fighting. So beautiful to see that happen. That will be locked in for July 18th for the show at the Bronx Stadium in Miami. Also on top of that, making his debut in this as well will be the brother of Ignacio Bahamondes, 17-year-old. Yes, 17-year-old Albert Bahamondes will be competing in Karate Combat in July. Is a set date for him to make his debut. Absolute stud. Has a lot of finishes on his record. He's got a retirement, doctor stoppage, rear naked choke, guillotine, and an arm bar, and 2 cancel bouts. So usually when you see cancel bouts,
MMA?
Yes, these are all MMA. These are all MMA, and he has 1 split decision on the last one, which is a really close fight. I advise people to go watch it if you can find it. It's through FFC. And there's a split decision, straight bang out with Roger Garcia. And I don't feel like it was a stock drop and loss at all. And he'll be coming over. So if you know anything about his brother, Ignacio Bahamondes, he's a rising star in the UFC, and he's literally taking it by storm. Also a Chilean, like our current bantamweight champion. Yeah, current bantamweight champion. So super dope to see more Chilean fighters coming around, more Chilean fighters joining into Karate Combat and what's going on there. So super dope. And he's only 17 years old. That is the most fire part about it. This kid is 17 years old. This is probably the youngest fighter. I think it's be the youngest fighter we've ever had debut or fight in Karate Combat, which would be super dope. And more than likely, we will see some more great fighters in his corner, like we've seen before, right? We've seen when this happens. We've had Eleni Pereira, who's a sister of Alex Pereira, as well, and he's come by all of her fights actually. So definitely look forward to seeing Ignacio there as well. One of my favorite fighters in the UFC. So super dope to see his brother there, and excited to see how he's going to show his striking. If you look at a lot of his wins are, like I said, rear naked choke, doctor stoppage. I don't know what this one's from. Maybe punches, or maybe just a really bad cut over the eye. I mean, it's only 30 seconds up in round 1, so that 5 minutes, anything could have happened there. You got a guillotine choke here, arm bar here. So you're seeing a lot of grappling, a lot of submission wins. Kind of like how we looked at the Mokaev situation coming in. This guy's really good grappler. What is it going to be like standing up and banging in one of the world-class striking leagues in the world? So excited to see what he'll have to bring to the table for that. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see some young blood in there, man. We've been getting a lot of old blood, but this is some young blood. So I'm super excited.
Like the Raul Rosas Jr. Karate Combat.
Yes, he is our Raul Rosas Jr. or a Max
Probably
Holloway.
the youngest fighter ever. Right?
Yeah. So super excited for this one, man. I was real high with Leo Gomez, talking to him about bringing him on board. So that was super dope. But let's add two more beautiful faces to the mix of things. Mac and Mal, the host of the Karate Hour.
Hey.
My guys, Mac Tyson is a karate combat encyclopedia along with other combat sports. My man Mallory was one of the best voices in the freaking game. Was able to get by today, man. Let's go. I see you was able to slide in here. I love to see it.
Man, you don't know. You do not know.
Dedication.
Well, it's good, man. We haven't got through much, just a few updates. Two updates. And if the people who didn't miss the updates, I'll go over them real quick. If you want to watch them back in detail, you can watch them back. But with Adam Noy's victory, he will be fighting Arturo in July for the Bantamweight Championship. Also in July, Ignacio Bahamandez's brother, Albert Bahamandez, will be making his karate combat debut at 17 years old, representing Chile as well. So that would be a heavy Chilean card. Trust. And if you go to the July 18th card for karate combat in Miami, trust, it will probably be about 50 to 75% Chileans there because they have a massive amount of people out there. And also these two are really big stars in their culture. So those are some updates for that right there. But let's jump into the main thing, man. We got to jump into it. We don't have much time today. This is going to be a shorter episode than normal. We won't be doing our full 2 hours like we normally do. But we got a lot to talk about, so we got to jump into it. And I think it's only right that we jump into the first thing. And it's history, man. History was made in Dubai. I got to witness this up close and personal. Shout out Sam Alvey, our first heavyweight champion of karate combat ever. Not only is he the first heavyweight champion, he is the first double champ. He's also the first American champ in heavyweight. He is the first American double champ. So the first double champ was American. The first heavyweight champ was American. Everything, bro. So Sam just broke a whole bunch of records over the past week. I don't even think I can name them all right now. I just want to give a huge congratulations to him. I think from where he's come from in the game and his from that loss streak in the UFC to what he's doing now to beating Tyrone Spong, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's one of the American stories, the American dream we think of, right? That mean comeback story. We've all watched it in sports, and we've gotten to witness it firsthand with Sam Alvey. Because to do, hold on, let me make sure I'm always bad at not muting this right. Let me get this right here. To be able to do this to the king of the ring, I mean, it's absolutely spectacular. The odds makers had him at a plus 750. And I'm pretty sure everyone who bet on Sam Alvey was very happy that the odds maker had him at a plus 750 because he showed exactly what he was meant for. And that's the pit. I feel like Sam Alvey has found his home. He is the greatest karateka on earth as of this moment. He is the king of the pit. He took out the king of the ring in the pit. I think he deserves to be the king of the pit and also the number 1 pound for pound. You know, and that's my opinion right there. I feel like this has solidified him as the number 1 pound for pound of karate combat. I mean, what bigger win could you get than Tyrone Spong, right? I honestly don't see it being any other way. Now, before we get into implications on what might happen after this fight, I want to hear some sentiments, man. I know I have a video of me freaking screaming like, "Holy shit, Sam Alvey is the double champ!" Like, I have to find it. And I'll play that clip maybe like next week or something. But I was like not absolutely shocked, but just absolutely shocked that I got to see it in person, right? I think a lot of hype was on Tyrone just because of who he is, the stature of the man he was, how many accolades he has. Like I said in the press conference, this man has more accolades than I have brain cells, which is kind of far-fetched, but it is up there. Like he has a shit ton of accolades. Tyrone Spong is not a slouch whatsoever. And to just see Sam Alvey just pure boxing, striking, and showing why karate combat is what it is, man. It gets no better than that. I'm gonna swing it down to pickers. Talk to me, baby.
Yeah, the fact that he got it done with boxing is absolutely incredible. Tyrone Spong is a multiple-time boxing world champion, other than his kickboxing, his Muay Thai escapades. So the fact that Sam Alvey was able to kind of get him in his own wheelhouse was extremely, extremely impressive. I think the biggest takeaway here for me was the uniqueness of the pit. It's kind of like what we saw in the UFC the same weekend where Bo Nickel got, kind of ran through by Rainer de Ritter as a minus 300 favorite. You might be good at wrestling, you might be good at kickboxing, you might be good at boxing, but the same way MMA is its own sport, this is really its own sport. And to go into the pit with all of the specific rule sets, and obviously, the pit wall as opposed to ropes changes the dynamic, the footwork, the range, the spacing, then the 4-ounce gloves on top of that. Sam Alvey is really king of the pit. Absolutely. And I mean, he just went in there with one of the biggest legends in striking, period, and laid him out cold. So I don't know how you would dispute that at this point.
Yeah. 100% agree with that one. Mac Tyson, my guy, you watched Sam Alvey from the beginning of him entering in karate combat to now becoming the freaking double champ of the world. How you feeling? What's your thoughts on this, brother?
Well, the obvious needs to be said is that there is some truth that Tyrone Spong is not in the prime of his career. He is coming off a long layoff, and he showed some ring rust in the first round, which is true. And he was starting to get warmed up in the second before he got knocked out by Sam Alvey. But I see a lot of people making those arguments, and those are good points to make. But that doesn't take away from how monumental this win was for Tyrone Spong, because everybody knew this going into this fight, but people still thought that it was a lamb going to slaughter for Sam Alvey. People were still underestimating him. You cannot take away how big this was for him. And the one thing that you can't take away was the fight IQ that Sam Alvey showed. I know a lot of people are putting a lot of focus on his boxing, but in his first round, his kicking game was amazing. I literally broke it down on X that he was going low with those calf kicks repeatedly, getting Spong to think low. Then he went high with it, and he landed that head kick. But he did.
Not to cut you off, was the first head kick he ever landed in his MMA career.
Yeah. Honestly, it feels like he was saving that just for Spong, because that's the best way you can surprise someone, is never use something in your entire career and just throw it out there. But the way he also recovered from it, because this is a mistake that some karate fighters make when they're transitioning to full contact, is they're very good at landing the strike, but and they'll use that lead leg snap kick the same way Sam Alvey did to the head, but then they'll plant there and they'll stay within striking range, and that's how they get knocked out, because they're staying within striking range. What Sam Alvey did, which was very smart, was he used what is called in karate sugiyashi, or a pendulum step back to regain the distance. And as Tyrone Spong was coming forward, he was able to really land some strikes to keep him out on that distance.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I absolutely, hold on. I absolutely love this guy right here in the back. If you guys see this guy right here, this guy, yo, he goes absolutely insane when Sam wins. He's just like the whole time, he's like, yes. He's absolute energy, bro. But moving on to my man at the bottom, not the last, but not certainly not least, my man Mallory Woods, man. Hey, man, seeing Karatekas get it done. How you feeling, baby?
Hey, man, congratulations to Smiling Sam. Give that man his flowers right now. A couple of things happened that was really interesting. I got to definitely give a side shout out to one of Sam's last few opponents within a while. Ross Levine was out congratulating Sam out on Instagram. He was very impressed with that. And as we see, as in this replay, Sam looked like he was so fast. I was like, where is this Sam been hiding? Smooth. Look at the thing. Look at the stepping through and everything. And this knockout is clean. It is just absolutely just, man. And then the one pause to not deal out any more punishment was like, well, ref's not going to stop. I got to do one more. Yeah. These are some of the cleanest techniques that I've seen Sam Alvey. So I love the fact that, like you could say this redemption story. Everyone was talking about, his losing streak in the UFC, this, that, and the other. This man is reinvented. He is the king of the pit. Come see him if you want these hands on display right here. $2 for $1. Make you holler, whatever you want. Get them while they're hot. Sam is serving them up right from his food truck, and you could not meet a nicer couple. Shout out to his wife as well, who is an absolute gem. Yes. Always in his corner, always sparring with him. I wouldn't want that, but this is what you get. So congratulations to Sam Alvey.
Yeah, and shout out his wife. She does spar 5 rounds with him before his fights. But my homie Keith was there. Shout out Keith Berry. He was there. Who fought, which was absolutely insane. This is why I love working in combat sports. Right, the night before of this fight, if you look right here, this guy with the black hat on. The night before, me and Sam and Leo Gomez cornered him in the main event for Crypto Fight Night in boxing, and he won by TKO. The next night, he cornered Sam to win the double champ status by KO, TKO. I don't know how they scored it. I would say that should be a KO, but it could possibly be a TKO because he had to give one for good measure. I think Tyrone was a little bit there still, but that last one kind of just like put him out, and Mark got it over after that point. But absolutely insane to see that. I'm just blessed to be able to see one. Keeps one a really good friend of mine. Sam, somebody I've become a friend of over these last months of watching him fight and being a part of Karate Combat, and just to see those two, man. Go to Dubai, represent for America, bring back some good old wins from the main events, man, was a fucking beautiful thing to see, man.
It's officially a knockout for Sam Alvey.
Officially a knockout? Awesome. That is beautiful. Even better, man. You love to see it, man. So, yeah, shout out his wife, man. But so what I was getting at is Keith picked up a few of the rounds. She didn't have to do a full 5 this time. Keith picked up a few of the rounds from her this time. So he was in there. He had some big boys to go with. And Keith's also somebody he trains with at Extreme Couture almost before every fight. He goes to Vegas. He trains at Extreme Couture before every fight. So Keith is also like a big part of kind of his regimen of getting ready over these last few fights. In the Arroyo fight, this fight, and the fight before he did, he went over there. And it showed. He's going to Extreme Couture. Those boys know how to wrestle over there. Those boys know how to strike over there. There's a lot of big boys over there that he can get working with. And it's showing, right? It's kind of a similar thing where the guys going down to Go Shed, and it kind of showing, improvement in what they're doing. So shout out Sam Alvey, the double champ of the world. Now, here's a question. Where do we go from here? I got a little information on that. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So heavyweight, I don't think we'll see anything for a little bit. But from what I'm hearing in the rumblings is that they are looking for a light heavyweight super fight for him coming up next for the belt, which makes perfect sense. And I think just thinking off of that, I haven't got any options yet, but just off the top of my brain, you got guys that we've already utilized that are out there, like Luke Rockhold. That could be a possible, name that could be thrown in the pot. You also have names that he's thrown out there, also talked about on Air Hawani, like Uriah Hall.
He's called out Darren Till in the past.
Yeah. He's also called out Darren Till in the past. Somebody that we all
like that one.
Somebody we all kind of want to see do striking. So I think within the next few months we should hear something about some type of light heavyweight super fight. I think they're gonna give Sam a little bit to kind of enjoy. Shout out Sam. Also, yesterday was his birthday. Happy belated birthday to the champ. Yesterday was his birthday. So I think they're gonna give him a little time for the birthday and his family, and all traveling into Dubai. It's a lot. And then I think they're going to be working on a light heavyweight super fight for him, which I absolutely love. Now, who it is going to be, I have no idea. These things go, it's a bunch of variables with this. Money, availability, people actually wanting to fight him, especially after you seeing what he done to Tyrone Spong. Like, things get a little rough. So I for the fans out there who are trying to figure out what's next for Sam Alvey, be look forward, more than likely 90% chance it will be a light heavyweight super fight. Which I absolutely love. I'm not upset with that. The light heavyweight, it's a few light heavyweights that I feel like are close to championship contentionship. I feel like they do need quite a few more fights. You have the Gaevs and stuff out there. Some of them have some redemption to do. And I honestly want to see a few other guys kind of duke it out before, they get a chance at the double champ. So with that being said, does anybody have any, before we move on to the next one, anybody have any light heavyweights that they want to see Sam go against for a super fight? Pickers.
Artem Vakatov.
Oh, Leo Gomez, listen up, baby. My boy.
Think about it. He was on DWCS.
He was.
He had a great performance.
100%.
Turned down his UFC contract because they offered him 12-12 and refused to offer him anything else. It's a beautiful move for Karate Combat because this is literally a guy with 2 wins over Alex Pereira, who was top of the world in glory. If you set up that light heavyweight super fight, either Sam Alvey continues killing striking legends, or you end up with one of the best strikers in the world as your champ. Well, either way, you end up with one of the best strikers in the world as your champion. But you can't go wrong there.
Nah, I don't think you go wrong at all there. That's a beautiful matchup too. I'm gonna have to text that one to Leo. Like, hey Leo, man, did you think about this one?
Little
Even though
nugget.
I have absolutely no pull. Mal, you got one?
I want to flip this to a different question
Ooh, let me
because
hear it.
we're talking about what's next. Where does Tyrone Spong go in this case? Does he hang around? Does he ask for another chance in the pit, or was it one and done?
How
I
old is he?
mean, yeah, 40 something, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Either right there at his 40s or early 40s.
And how much money he has then?
Yeah, I feel like a lot
What's
of
the question?
kickboxing fans would like to see him
39.
at this point.
39. He'll be 40 this year.
If he's got all that money put away and he can't compete at the level he used to, I would imagine a lot of athletes who go from title contention to jobber contention will just retire. But usually it's financial at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It could go either way, man. I think maybe we see him again, maybe in another super fight setting. But I don't know, man. That's completely up to him. From what he told me, well, from what he said to everybody at the press conference when I asked him, at the weigh-ins, ceremonial weigh-ins, was that he was fighting for his son and he was fighting to show his son. And after that, he said, I don't give a fuck about any of this other shit. He literally said, I don't care about any of this other shit. I was like, all right, cool. My job is nulled here. Let me move on. But it was fighting for his son. And I don't think from my meeting of him and like talking to him and stuff, I don't think that he has the type of character to not go back in and kind of leave on a W. But we don't know what's in his mind right now, right? We don't know what's going on. So hopefully, he's not taking it too hard. I mean, he's fought a massive amount of times. It's not his first loss at all. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough question, pickers. Like, do we see Tyrone Spong again? I would hope so. I would hope that we do see him again. I honestly was very excited to see him fight. Not much of a fight builder. He's not much of a builder of fights. I think his name speaks so much for himself that he kind of like is in that realm where he's like, man, look, I knocked so many people out. I ain't got to build fights no more. Yeah, I don't gotta say nothing no more. So yeah, he's not much of a fight builder, but also is a great name to have on a card. I think it's a very familiar face for people, especially for people coming from the kickboxing and boxing world, which coincides really close to karate combat with being the striking league. So, man, one shout out to him for even doing it. Shout out Sam for getting the double champ status, being the first in karate combat. It's beautiful, man. And we'll see, man. These divisions are starting to spice up, man. We're starting to spice up. I think eventually what everybody wants to see is Sam versus Rebellis, but I think we're a little far from that. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot more implications to do in both divisions before we actually see that fight happen. So we'll just keep our eyes open, man. Shout out Leo Gomez and the rest of the Fight Ops team. Y'all got a hard ass job, and I don't want to do it.
That's the fight we need now. Artem Vakatov.
There we go, bro.
Heard it here first.
You heard it here first, my man. MMA pickers. Now let's talk about some other absolute freaking studs that came in and surprised us as well, showcasing that not only can I wrestle, not only can I get in that UFC and grapple, I could get in the karate combat pit and show you boys that I actually, and gals out there, that I actually have some striking. And I was highly impressed by Muhammad Mokaev. Very crisp with his striking, looked super comfortable in the pit. It was able to get a second round TKO with a nice teep to the liver. You can see right there, and just there it is right there. And it just ends it off with another. I think that was like his third flying knee that he did. I mean, he had the crowd going absolutely insane every time he did one. But Muhammad Mokaev comes in, he does his thing, gets a second round KO in his debut, looking really smooth. Where do we see Mokaev going from here? Anybody could take this one.
The idea I had is Arturo said that he wants to fight him, so have him fight up the rankings. Maybe someone like Owen Chelmia.
Interesting.
Or Goyito.
Interesting. Owen Chalmia would definitely be a test to his striking, because as we know, like Owen is not the best in the clinch, and that's kind of what happened with him and Arturo, and not the best at grappling, but he comes from a pure striking background, right? Pure karate and boxing. So I mean, to put him up against a guy like Mokaev would definitely test that. But My question is, will Mokaev have kind of an advantage with kind of like the little bit of wrestling that we do allow, the little bit of grappling that we do allow in karate combat, right?
He got double legged in the first round of this fight. He got taken down.
Yeah.
I was shocked by that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think also too, without the actual octagon there, it's a little confusing for him. You know what I mean? Like I think, and because also in this round, I think it's kind of like where that no, it is where you're talking about double leg, because also I could see the UFC MMA kind of reaction. He went straight for a guillotine as soon as he went for the double leg, right?
Yeah.
So I think after that double leg, he kind of like realized, like, hold on, oh shit, I'm in a pit, not an octagon, right? This is a little different, and I think that's kind of like where it clicked for him. And he kind of like from there forward, it was like he was kind of locked in, and he was just honing in on Zambakayov, Bola. I'm gonna just say Bola, bro.
There you go.
He was just zoning in on Bola, and he just finished him, man. I honestly would love to see a fight of the rankings. From my understanding, I do not think he's going to be competing as far as like contention, like champion contentionship at a bantamweight. I think it may be a spot up. We may see him fighting Shazib instead of Arturo.
Oh wow.
He's a flyweight.
Huh?
Isn't he a flyweight?
Yeah, UFC he was, but
yeah, so he's already fighting up at 135.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a big difference though.
That he's got, and like it's not even like Shazib is like, you know, a small lightweight.
Nah, he's the biggest lightweight.
He probably is a true bantam though.
Moss.
He was always a big lightweight, big flyweight.
Yeah, he was barely making weight in the UFC. It was like right on the dot.
But to go, I agree with Mac though. To go from bantamweight to lightweight would be nuts. I mean, Shazib looked like he was around like freaking 180 pounds his last fight.
Yeah.
And honestly, Arturo needs that type of fight more.
Yeah.
For him to get his star power, like
I mean,
he needs.
I don't even think they're gonna make him do. I would not be surprised if he gets a title shot right away, like right after Noy versus.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I mean, he's 27-0 amateur. Like, what's his professional record? Like 17-0, 18-0, something like that.
Yeah.
He was ranked in the UFC. He's in the prime of his career. I know that we want to see guys do work in the organization first, but this guy has such a large and I'm personally not the biggest fan, so I'm trying to give my unbiased opinion here. But he has such a large body of work outside of the UFC.
Mokaev wasn't even a real contender in the UFC. He
was.
He was at the top.
But just because of how shallow the flyweight division was.
I mean, it ain't that shallow anymore.
It ain't shallow. They just all fought each other already. That's just the issue.
What I'm saying is, like, it's not like he was close to fighting for the belt.
He was
2 fights away.
2 fights away, literally.
I don't know. It's just for me, it doesn't feel like this is a name that deserves a automatic jump, especially off a win of the caliber of the opponent he just fought.
I mean, but I do. I know what to say because of like this guy, and then no disrespect to Bola, is nothing to the top 5 of the flyweight division in the UFC. And the guys that you're talking, Manel Cap, you're talking Moreno, you're talking Yair Rodriguez, like these aren't slouches. Like Pantoja, like one of the best to do it. So like these are the guys that he was in the top rankings with. And honestly, to be real, this guy Bola, and I could see Arturo being more of a guy in that area of him. So when you go from that, it's like, all right, when it comes to karate combat, we can't throw him straight into the belt. You give him something like this, a little bit of bait, something for him to do. He finishes him. He shows us that, all right, he has what it takes to do it in here. Because Bolat's no slouch either. Like, I'm not saying that.
I just feel like it's a bigger fight if Arturo defends the belt. Especially he really does need to defend the belt against a quality opponent.
I mean, that's going to be Noy.
So if he defends the belt against Noy, and then Mokaev wins a fight, next fight, you can even have Arturo in the crowd. That's how you start building that fight. If you just give the fight right away, it will be still big, but I feel like giving one more fight, it also shows that Mokaev is here to stay with karate combat. There's no questions if he wins the belt, if he's just going to take it and run.
Yeah, but he's still with Brave FC, and that's the other thing. So it's like, is there time for us to do all of that? It might, if he's gonna, it's either, here's the thing is,
I didn't know he was still signed
yeah,
with Brave
Brave
FC.
FC let him fight. Yeah, Brave FC let him fight with us. So the thing is, if he wants to stay with us or if he wants to stay with Brave, and to be honest, if we want him to stay with us, you got to give him a title shot. You know what I mean? And it's just simple fact of it is, and he's worthy of it. Like I don't think there'll be much arguments throughout the MMA space of him not being worthy of a title shot against.
Oh yeah, of course,
Arturo.
because MMA space doesn't know anyone in. They don't follow karate combat.
I mean, just off the pure stature. I think in any case, if we took the name out of it, right, and just made it anybody and put the same situation, I think we will all come to the fact that like this person deserves that title shot. You know what I mean? He's massive. He damn near has more followers than karate combat.
So you just you started off the show asking if Sam Alvey should be pound for pound number one. I guess the next question is how much should the rankings matter in general?
I think if you're in the top 5, you're in title contention.
But is Mokaev even in the top 5 right now?
Mokaev gets a free exception. Yeah. Because of where he's in other power rankings in other distinguished organizations.
Yeah, multiple distinguished
organizations. And on top of that, the obvious marketing and financial incentive of having a guy with over 2 million social media followers fighting in a main event.
No, I understand that part. Yeah.
It's not like PFL where it's playoffs.
No, it's just interesting because like if this was like the UFC and there was someone that was a top contender in a different MMA promotion, but not like the only division unless it was I've never heard of a top ranker from another organization automatically getting a title shot. There have been other champions that have gotten title shots.
The guy just fought Pantoja. Well, he was a champ. Yeah, he was a champ.
Yeah, he was a champ.
Yeah,
that's fair. But at that point, it's almost the same thing.
But it's they also get fast tracked as well.
I guarantee you that you guys are probably right. It's going to be the fight that happens next because it is the biggest fight.
Yeah.
Mac
and karate combat at the end of the day is a sports entertainment organization, and I agree with that. It's just I'm wondering how much, what balance we're having with that sports aspect and how much effort we're really putting into the rankings.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about rankings for a second. You understand that at a certain point, Mokaev would be higher up in the flyweight rankings than Kaya Sakura. The international flyweight rankings.
Yeah.
Despite him being rising champion. So if that's good enough for a title shot in the UFC, I would argue vice versa. If you look at his spot on the pound-for-pound rankings, that should be good enough to enter. If he entered karate combat with 0 fights in karate combat and got a title shot, I still wouldn't have been upset about it personally.
I'm not saying I'm upset. I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying like I wouldn't.
Discussion that needs to be had.
I think it's a clear-cut balance between you have to demonstrably have the skills to be in this fight, combined with this has to make sense for the organization.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's 2 ways to demonstrate that you have the skills. You either work the way up in karate combat's rankings, or you do so well outside of karate combat that you're darn near undeniable. I would guess that Mokaev was probably over a minus 1,000 favorite without even having looked at the lines. But
yeah,
3,000 really, yeah. In his last amateur and pro combined, in his last 41 fights, he's 41-0.
Yeah.
I mean, in top level organizations, IMAAF for amateur, and then obviously, UFC. He was undefeated as well on a nice win streak. I think that proves at least that you have the demonstrable skills that you can be in that title fight and hold your own. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, and all in all, only 2 or 3 people can actually make this whole decision, right? We're all speculating here, and there's good speculation and there's good arguments here. Mac has a really great point. MMA Pickers has some really great points as well. I think this is all stuff, and I'll send this to Leo Gomez and the rest of the guys over at Fight Ops and see how they feel about it. But it's all in all, it's up to them how they feel about stuff. I do feel like the rankings should be considered a lot in this, but also feel like there are variables that can affect the rankings and how people come in sitting on those rankings. Because I know if I'm number like 3 internationally and this guy's like not even top 100, yeah, hell yeah, I should feel like I should come in a little bit above him, right? and then the other guy might feel some type of way too. So I don't know, man. We will see. Muhammad Mokaev has showed us great signs in his debut. Striking looked amazing, like I said, very crisp. Before we move on, Mal, do you have any closing thoughts on this one?
But also, I just want to clarify: if that fight does get made, I'm not angry with it. I'm actually very hyped for the Arturo versus Mokaev fight. I think that is a huge opportunity for Arturo to really elevate his career. It's 100%. Just I just wanted to bring up this discussion point because I think it was an important discussion point to have, and I think it was a fun discussion.
100%. I appreciate that, brother. Mal,
since I have to exit in about 5 minutes, I'm gonna leave you all with this. The idea, like for example, Mac and Pickers, you both have a great point because we are dealing with an individual sport where rankings matter, injuries matter, and a lot of times those two things, and also last fight time matter. So those three things throw things off. It's not like last night with the Warriors and the Timberwolves. If Steph Curry went out, they didn't say, sorry, this game is over. Curry can't play, so we got to suspend it at the second quarter. No, you got backup. You got guys that can still go on. And it's like, hey, that's why you have the next man up philosophy. So there's always going to be like, does this person really deserve that because he's ranked 2 and no, this guy's coming in with the hype train, so you give it to him. So it's always going to be subjective, and that's part of the entertainment part that we do play for not only UFC but Karate Combat. But it's like, hey, we know this guy's ground, but this guy's really hot right now. Did you hear what he said? I mean, think about it. Also, you have some other fighters that rose up because of things they said, things they did. Nate Diaz talked his way into Connor's fighting by saying he did everything he did, so he got on that hype train. Mokaev, one thing, you see how comfortable he looked? How many people come over your house and put their feet right on your couch, go in your refrigerator and make food? That's what he did. Okay, he came right on over, but like, yo, what are we doing? No, seriously, he looks so comfortable. How many other people do that? So I'm sorry, I'm short on time, but I can't wait to see what's next for these guys. And, especially him, and I love that matchup. Especially that you brought up with Arturo. That's gonna be fireworks.
Yeah, 100% gonna be fireworks. You got 5 minutes. Are you want to go ahead and spin out now, or do you want to hop on this next one?
I'm gonna go ahead and spin out now because the powers that be have been popping. I think I need to go.
There you go.
So appreciate it. Glad to get in here on a Wednesday. You guys take it easy.
Let's go, man. Shout out Mallory Woods. That's our man. Make sure you follow him. It's the real Mallory Woods on everything, correct?
The Mallory Woods on Twitter and MWoods98 Instagram. We'll
there you go. The Mallory Woods on Twitter. Mallory Woods 98. 98?
Yep, 98.
98 on Instagram, man. Follow my man. Shout out Mal Woods. That is Mallory. We'll see you next week, brother.
Be good, guys.
See you later. All right, now for our next topic, let's talk about Chingiz Allazov. Now, when I first got to the fights, I got a text from the producer and it was like, hey, you'll be interviewing Chingiz Allazov. And I was like, Chingiz Allazov coming to Karate Combat? And it was like, we have a big announcement. He hasn't told us what the announcement is yet, but, we kind of want you to ask him about it, blah, blah, blah. And he is super excited on coming over and fighting in the pit. I don't know if you didn't watch the interview, you can go back. It's on Karate Combat's page, a bunch of other news. Shout out CS News Today, who actually invite collabed me on Instagram to the news, their news coverage on this. That was super dope. And he wants to come on to Karate Combat. Now, if you don't know who Chingiz Allazov is, you probably never watched anything in kickboxing at all. He was the #1 pound for pound kickboxer at One Championship. He's also the former One Championship belt holder, and he did not lose the belt. He just vacated it. He's never lost his belt. He is still undisputed. He vacated his belt, and he's kind of like on a limbo right now. He said he lost motivation in fighting, and I think Karate Combat Pit has struck a little fire under his combat sports heart and made him, want to get back in there. So him coming over to the fights was kind of huge. And to be honest, I had a lot of Asian. I don't know exactly where, so I'm just going to say Asian because I just seen a lot of writing, and I don't know exactly where it's from. It could be Mandarin. It could be whatever. Japanese, I don't fucking know. But a lot of outlets like tag me and people hitting up about it and reposting and retweeting about it. So really big just reaction of him just speaking of possibly fighting Karate Combat. So I think this would be a massive thing for him to come over. And also I mean, like I said, dude, like you got #1 pound for pound kickboxer coming out of one championship. I think that's exactly the pedigree of fighters that we're looking for right now, right? Awesome has always said it, right? The top, the top, um, the top karatekas, the top strikers around the world. We want to gather all of them in this one place we call Karate Combat. And I mean, you get no better than Chingiz Allazov, right? That's at the level of like the Tyrone Spongs of the world and the rest of the massive guys that we brought in from kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever you name it. Chingiz sits right at that top of pinnacle of the strikers that we want there. And also, when you think of bringing in guys like this, right? We were talking about this earlier, how we do have young guys coming in, and we also have older guys coming in. But these are guys that the young guys watch, they idolize, but also always wanted to fight them, right? So you're giving these guys these opportunities too, as well, to come in and be able to touch some of these legends that they've watched, and wanted to fight and test their skills on.
And Allazov is in his prime, 31 years old.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he didn't lose the belt. We're not talking about a former champ because he got his ass kicked and now he's leaving one championship. No, this is a guy who was at the top of his game and was like, you know what? I'm just going to take a break because I'm not feeling it anymore. You know, I don't have that motivation here at one championship. And we've heard stories in one championship. I'm not going to jump into it. I don't know exactly what went on with Chingiz. I didn't ask him about that. Only thing I want him to do is come to Karate Combat. All right. We've had a lot of success with some of the one championship people that have come over, and we want more. Shout out Ashiroka, who just got another dub over there coming up from one championship. So we've had a lot of success stories from one championship. Some guys on a smaller level, some gals on a smaller level. This is somebody on the higher level of one championship. I think this would equal up to like bringing over a Rainin DeRitter or some of that caliber. And I am super excited. I think also bringing another wave of fans from a whole nother region for us, which I feel like would be massive for the growth of Karate Combat. All right, my voice is killing me right now, so I'm gonna pass it off. Pickers, what was your thoughts when you see me on the big screen with your boy Chingiz?
Well, my first thought was, damn, King looks good. Is that a new haircut? And
Thanks,
then I was
brother.
like, holy crap, he's standing next to Chinga. And then I read the caption and I said, well, obviously that's incredible. This is a guy who's been competing since he was 13. Obviously, you talked about some of his accolades at one championship. He's also a two-time K1 champion, which is one of the most prestigious organizations in kickboxing. I mean, this guy's a killer, and he's in his prime. And I think, honestly, I know that when I started covering Karate Combat, one of the stigmas is, oh, that's where, you know, careers go to die. That's where guys go to the end of their career. And I love that we're seeing all of these guys coming in their prime, who have done so well in other organizations. Adam Noy's a great example of that. You know, 100 pro wins at 25. Obviously, Chinga coming in, another example of that. Because I do think Karate Combat has some of the best strikers in the world. I do think you need a very specific skill set to operate in the pit as opposed to a ring or a cage or another type of structure. And I'm really excited that we finally get those questions answered. And we finally get to see truly the best strikers in the world in their primes, stepping into the pit to compete with some of our guys who we claim are the best strikers in the world. I think that's awesome. And I think it's tons of fun for the fans, and including me, obviously. And I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. I'm so excited for this one.
Yeah, I'm super excited as well, man. You make a lot of great points there. And, dude, like, we could, oh, man, I'm just thinking of possible fights. Ooh. But before I get too deep into that, Mac, I know you're familiar with Chingiz.
Yeah, one of my favorite kickboxers.
Yeah, I'm about to say
stylistically perfect for Karate Combat. He's the type of striker we want. Very movement oriented, very exciting striker, almost a blitz style striker. He fights like kind of like the old school American style kickboxers, but using more of an international style, which I always love to see in Karate Combat. But it's going to be huge. This is opening the floodgates for high-level strikers because you saw it with one championship when Takeru moved over. A lot of the high-level kickboxers now wanted to go test themselves within one championship. When people see Chingiz Allazov in Karate Combat, that's going to open up the floodgates of all these high-level strikers from kickboxing wanting to come in here.
Yes.
The question here is, no one would argue with Chingiz Allazov, a striker of his caliber, going automatically to a title shot. The question is, does he want to go automatically to a title shot because of that grappling aspect of Karate Combat? would he want to have one, maybe 2 fights to get used to this new rule set before fighting whoever is the champion? Honestly, whoever wins between Shazab and Luis Rocha, if they can hold the title for the next year, that's going to be an epic fight for whoever fights Chingiz Allazov eventually.
So he'll definitely go up. He won't go down.
He fights at featherweight in one championship, which is 155.
Yeah.
So I would imagine
is featherweight 55 in kickboxing?
In one championship kickboxing, it's 155 because because every division is up one. So
I was thinking MMA
170. Welterweight is 185.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why it was so crazy when Shazab went to one champion. I mean, not Shazab. When oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Got his face. Sage Northcutt. When Sage Northcutt went to one championship because he went up to welterweight, which MMA brain you think 170, which is already crazy for a lightweight. But no, he actually fought at 185
against Cosmo.
Yeah,
brutal.
So, but our welterweight is 165 now, correct?
Yes. So that is an option too.
So,
and
I
honestly,
mean,
if you wanted to do a UFC Baku, Rafael Agaev, a national hero, versus Chingiz Allazov, another national hero.
That's literally what I'm looking at right now.
You'll need a stadium for that fight.
Yeah, 100%. And to be honest, I mean, I think that's where you kind of have to go with this. I'm looking at other guys in the lineup. I mean, Alejandro Bugal had his chance, and he kind of dropped the ball on that one. You have Ilias comes in. He's coming off a loss, I think, on the last one. I think Rafael Alves is like the only right now suitable opponent in that division that you actually would want to see him against, unless you bring back somebody like a Benson Henderson or Anthony Pettis.
That'd be.
I mean, and also,
Rafael Alves versus Rafael Alves versus Chingiz Allazov fight,
or you know, just a crazy thought, our actual fucking champion fight. You know, who knows? Just a crazy thought to go out there. You know, he hasn't fought in like 2 years, but you know, who knows? Maybe our actual champion fights up. Who knows?
Are you holding a grudge, Apollo?
Yeah, I am. I think this is a long term, and I know it's a grudge. It's just a fucking. I'm just upset that this man has not been active at all since I've been a part of Karate Combat. I've never seen this man fight.
I just want to make sure the wrong people don't hear you. You know.
Hey man, listen. I'll tell you right now, bro. Don't put your hands on me. All right. I sue. I got lawyers. I don't fight. I'm telling you now. I am a sports reporter. I'm Stephen A. Smith. Don't come press me, LeBron. All right, you just press me. Don't put your hands on me. I can speak my mind. It's free world. But at the end of the day, I would like to see him fight. He's got to get active. Seeing the rest of the guys get active. The rest of these guys, people talking about stripping people of their belts for not being active. I mean, come on. What is the reason? I haven't heard a reasoning. I haven't heard anything. The man hasn't fought. So I mean, Chingiz comes in, and you know, maybe they fight for his belt because he's not active or he doesn't want to fight. I don't know what's going on with that. You know. But all I know is it's been almost 2 years. When was the last time he fought, Mac? Exactly. If Mac does that, June 24th, 2023 was the last time he fought, which was an amazing fight. A guy versus Clay Hagan is arguably one of the best fights ever in Karate Combat. Yeah. Arguably one of the best fights ever. But that was the last time we seen him. We're in 2025, halfway through the year, damn near. We're going up on a 3-year mark of him not fighting. It's absolutely heinous. So that has to be figured out. And Chingiz is right in that division. So I'm glad he's coming. Let's stir that pot up. Let's get shit going. Somebody got to wake up, baby. I'm sorry. We're going to have to get some shit going, man, for real. I see Chingiz maybe getting a straight shot or maybe a quick contender fight, which I honestly don't feel like is necessary. But if he
gets whatever he wants, honestly.
Yeah. If that's what they feel like they want to do, that's what they do. I don't see this happening within the next few cards. I think this is something that's going to be built up over the next few months. And they would need a massive build up for this one too as well. I mean, it's Chingiz Allazov. Like, you want to make sure that you do proper promotion for this one. He's massive. He has a massive amount of fans, just like Muhammad Mokaev does. Not at the same level, but very close. So you want to make sure you do it right. And I think
Definitely.
Karate Combat knows what they're doing. I think they're gonna after we've seen this last card and after they have just up the ante every card. I think we'll get treated well on this one. I don't think we'll lose out when we do actually see Chingiz touch the ring. And there's a lot of good options for him to definitely go up against. So we will see,
It
man.
is honestly hard to speculate because a year is a lifetime in combat sports.
Dude, that's
So
what I'm
much
saying.
can change.
That's what I'm like. Like, does Raphael Guy even look like the same person anymore? Right? Like,
Yeah, he's getting up in years.
Yeah, and he was already in his isn't he in his late 30s? He's almost
Look
like,
pretty good against. Was that the same guy? That's Alvez.
he's 40
Against
years
Warren.
old.
Yeah, forget it.
A guy's 40 years old.
And unfortunately, he was an Olympian, which has very strict drug testing. So
Yeah.
it's very likely he's not even on the horse meat diet and special juice diet.
Yeah, I highly doubt it that he is.
Shout out to Alistair Overeem and Paul
He seems like one of the more traditional guys and kind of like sticks to doing things the right way.
It
Now,
would be crazy though to see Rafael Agaev on the special.
oh yeah, 100%. All right. Now, speaking of, disappointments, I was a little disappointed in this fight. Jaden Anod. Now, I think the big prompt here was he fraud checked? Now, if you watch Anod had what, 3 TKOs between 3 finishes. In his last 3 fights for Karate Combat, I want to say, was it 3 or has he had 2 with us? I know I've at least been there for 2 of them. I think he's had 3, and I think Thailand was the first one. I just didn't go to it. But Jaden Enod came up against a guy more of a wrestler type. And why can't I find him? Is he not on? Oh, that's why. More of a wrestler type and use that to his advantage. Like we said, Karate Combat isn't heavily grappling focused, but if you know how to use grappling within the pit, it can be a great advantage to you. It can be something that you could utilize to get a finish. And he was on 2 wins. So yeah, Adam Rosa Ramos and Julius Anglickas, 2 KO wins. I think both of them were in the first round as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then this last fight was against, which is showing on the screen, is Kimrian. It's a very hard name to say. Kimrian. It's tough because it's an M and an R, and you have to kind of roll. Whatever. Kimrian Allazov, who got him to this pit right here. And to be honest, if you do not know how to grapple and the guy gets you in this position, you can see he has an underarm. He's not letting Jaden drop to the ground. He's kind of just holding him there. And the angle that they don't show is where he kind of just comes across, and it's about right. It's like right here. And I could see it because I'm standing right here by Brenda. Actually, I'm like somewhere over here. And that punch right there was the one that kind of took it out of Jaden. And he has his hand. If you see his arm is under here, he actually has that hand. He actually has that hand pinned down. Yeah. So Jaden can't do anything but try to block that one hand. And it just shows the lack of wrestling knowledge and grappling knowledge that Jaden has versus Allazov, who is training with these guys who are top tier wrestlers out in Dubai, out in the Middle East, out in these other gyms. Guys like Habib and all of these guys. So a bunch of them that were in his corner and around him during the fight week buildup. So, I mean, we've seen Jaden Enod come in. We've seen Jaden Enod come in and show us amazing striking. He showed us who the spray was. But if he gets put in positions like this, is this where Jaden Enod is not able to basically, come out on top from? You know what I mean? Is this his weakness? And is this something that either he's going to work on or really realize that Karate Combat is a different game versus kickboxing and Muay Thai? I don't know, man. Is this a fraud check, Pickers? Or do we think Jaden just has to go back to the drawing board a little bit?
Well, usually when we ask a question like that, we have to define our terms. Fraud check to me means this guy has no business here. Mickey Gall beating CM Punk in the first round was a fraud check. I don't see this as a fraud check. Listen, there's a saying in grappling, if you see a guy and his last name has an OV, Leave him be. These guys are wrestling animals, monsters. Jaden Anod is an unbelievable striker, but that's what he is. He's a striker. I don't think any of his combats. Maybe he has one MMA fight, if I remember correctly. But I think basically all of his combat sports experience is in striking arts like Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Yep.
And I know he's the WBC champ, and he might have had a couple of boxing matches as well. But listen, you don't wrestle, and you go against a guy who probably has been wrestling since he was 2. You saw where that TKO happened. It didn't happen on the feet.
Nope.
It happened with him riding his hip on the side, throwing punches at his head. And, I don't think Jaden Anod is at the level of wrestling that Allazov is. And I don't think that makes him a fraud. I think it's probably something a lot of people knew going into that matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Go ahead, say, Mac.
I don't think he was fraud checked. I think people just went into this fight with the wrong storyline in mind. People thought, look at those odds. People thought that Jaden Anod was going to do the same thing he did to the last 2 opponents and just run through Kamrian Allazov, and that was just because a lot of people didn't know who Kamrian Allazov was.
Yeah.
Anyone that knew who he was knew that this was Jaden Anod's biggest challenge.
Yep. It's a former champ. It's no slouch.
Yeah, it's the reason why I put my tokens on Allazov, because when someone put it's not because I didn't think Jaden Anod could win.
Nah, I'm just saying, smart man.
It's just when you look at that odds, did I think that Jaden Anod can win this fight 87% of the time, and Kamrian could only win 13% of the time? Meaning, if special circumstances happen, could he win this fight? That was not the case. So I had to put my token. That was the smart bet, because as we saw, there were questions that we didn't know. And I do think that Jaden Anod can evolve from this if he wants to. This is now where Jaden Anod needs to go back to the drawing board and realize, does he want to stay in karate combat with this grappling aspect, take on a white belt mentality and work wall scrambles, scrambling from the ground?
Yeah.
Or does he want to just go back to Muay Thai and kickboxing?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have to level up your game, man. And this shows perfectly, like, you, and this is the same thing. And shout out my man AP. I love Alex to death. But you had a guy who was a mid-tier wrestler at best, and Magomedov, whatever. Why I can't think of his name right now? I don't fucking know. All right, I don't know. Yes. No,
so
no,
Mike
not
Tyson
Marco.
Karate,
No,
if you
no,
want to
no.
delegate your tokens to me next event.
Yeah, Alex Pereira's last.
Magomed Ankalaev. You got me messed up.
Ankalaev, mid-tier wrestler. He's not the Dagestani wrestler type we're used to, right? But
mid-tier,
compared to like Islam or somebody, compared to the rest of the gang, okay, a little bit above mid-tier wrestler.
Go watch Islam Blachowicz fight again. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Maybe I need to shut the fuck up. But anyways, what I'm getting at is this is showing that karate combat is not purely striking, right? It is striking, but you have to be able to strike from the ground and be able to strike while your opponent is grounded and be able to defend yourself while you're in a grounded opponent, right? And know how to get out of those positions, recovery and things like that. Some of our champions have been the best at that. Shazay Bren is one of the ones we've learned who has a great recovery. We've seen him dropped multiple times, but he's also learned how to get back up. We've seen him on the side of the pit, and he's got back up. You see guys utilize reversals and all types of things to get out of these pit situations, and these are things that you need in your arsenal if you're going to be going against these guys. Because there's some guys that you may have never seen competed anything wrestling, may have always been kickboxers, but doesn't mean they haven't been training jiu-jitsu for the last 15 years. It doesn't mean they haven't been training wrestling for the last 15 years at their gym. Maybe they just don't want to utilize it. Maybe they just haven't been in a league where they can show that part of them. So these are the things you have to have in your arsenal. If you're coming into karate combat, listen, have a well-rounded game. That's the best way. Unless you can just knock motherfuckers out like Rebellis, then you don't need grappling.
No, but that's the thing people don't understand about Rebellis is that he's actually perfect for this, because he has, throughout his entire MMA career, he's solely focused on the grappling you need for karate combat and nothing else.
Yeah.
like, because that's the thing. You don't need a black belt in jiu-jitsu in
No.
karate combat.
You need great defense. That's it.
Yeah, you just need basically a blue belt in jiu-jitsu or ground fighting, and a black belt in specific aspects of grappling.
Yeah. I think if you have basic defense and situational and positional awareness, I think you'll be fine. I honestly, I agree. You don't need to be a 5th-degree black belt to be here. Maybe in the UFC top 10, top 5, yeah. But here, fuck no. You could have a blue, a purple, a brown. You could be fine. But you have to understand what's going on in these positions to even know how to just defend them a little bit. It's not like they could go for submissions here. It's not like they can do extended grappling. They can't wrap up on you. So majority of this stuff is taken off the board anyways, right? So if you can learn the basics, I mean, it saves yourself from being in these situations. Owen Chamia, one of my favorite fighters of all time in karate combat. But when it came to a situation where he was put into a Muay Thai clinch, something he knew absolutely nothing about, like Ross Levine said, he did not know how to defend it. He had his hands down. He had his head down in the wrong position, right, for him to be able to knee him right in the face. And it just showed the lack of knowledge in that position.
Or at least the training partners, because that's what hurt Owen more, because the fact is that Owen has fought Muay Thai before on at least the amateur level. He's fought MMA before on the amateur level.
But he mainly trains boxing. That's the part.
Yeah, because that's the only sparring he really can do.
I mean, it is to a certain
unless
extent,
he's training at the Goat Shed.
It is to a certain extent you have to move around. And that's where I'm at with it is when you realize it's not. So if it's like, if I'm at a gym, right? And I'm like, none of these guys wrestle here, but I need to know wrestling. I got to go somewhere else and get that knowledge.
But that's the issue with Ireland is the Irish MMA gyms do not want to train fighters for karate combat.
Well, then you got to move out of Ireland if this is what you want to do. And if this is what you want to do, you got to figure it out. And if not, then you're just going to have to move on to boxing or something else that you feel like is going to be more suitable for your region and what you want to do. You know what I mean? I think that all boils down to the actual athlete being willing to step out of their comfort zone and go somewhere else to get to that next level, right? It's if they want to make it to that next level a lot, right? I love Owen, but Owen's also somebody who is very successful as far as educational wise. He's a very educated man. He has a doctorate. His wife's educated. They have a farm already. They live a decent life. They're self-sustainable. So to me, when it comes to things like that too, it's also possibly a motivational thing there, right? You got guys like Arturo who's fighting to get to the top from the bottom, right? And you got guys that kind of already right there at the top, right? As far as like living wise. And I don't think the same motivation is there too as well. And that's another topic for another day.
Because like the fact is the love of the game is the exact same as Arturo. Like,
yeah, I can understand that, but motivation for wanting it.
Owen's passion is fighting.
Yeah,
like he in his free time he's analyzing fights. Even.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Owen's one of my favorite as well as Arturo. But you know that's another thing we could get into another day. But all in all, you got to make yourself more well-rounded in karate combat, man. I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, and honestly, the first like team that can really just focus on karate combat's rule set and figure out the exact amount of grappling that you need to train and how to train it, and then can focus all the rest of the time onto striking. That's going to be the team that takes karate combat to the next level.
Yeah.
It's honestly a race to do that because a lot of teams are happy with just basically doing MMA striking camps, but the team that's able to evolve past that and really focus on this rule set is the ones that are going to develop fighters faster.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree, brother. I think we got one more. Oh, actually, we don't have one more to talk about. Any honorable mentions? I'll say that. Let's. Any honorable mentions? I know we talked about the A9 fight. We talked about Mokaev. We talked about Alvey, Tyrone Spong. We also talked about Chingiz coming in. I say my honorable mentions, Ashiroka, very great fight. I honestly saw that fight going a little more like towards the middle.
Would be more high paced.
Yeah, but Asha kind of just like took over. And you know what, dude, her striking, seeing that up close in person, I was upset I missed the first one because she couldn't fight in Singapore. And then when she fought in Thailand, we didn't go to that fight. We did the kind of It was a hybrid broadcast, and I was super excited to see her. And dude, when I say she impressed the shit, you guys know I come from boxing background, so my boxers when they come in and show me the beautiful, just like Sam. Oh my god, that fucking down the middle. Oh.
Nice head movement from Masha.
Oh
too.
my god, yes, beautiful. Her head is on a swivel all the time.
Mhm.
She's just everywhere she goes, bang, 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 and that's what I love, dude. So shout out her. Also want to give the honorable mention to her and an honorable mention to Abdullah Chandio. Great fight. Had a very kind of like rocky build up with this guy. You know, very emotional. Chairs got thrown, a whole bunch of stuff. Shit like that could get into your head. I had to talk with him before the fight. I was like, hey, listen, dude, like you're a really good fighter. Just go in here, just go in the fight. You know, don't think about any of the other shit that happened. Just go in and fight. And he was like, nah, dude, like I got this. Like I got this. And he went in and showed it, right? He put on a good show, and I can't wait to see what he has next. Like I said, that Pakistani build is a cheat code right now, dude. They're tall and fucking linky. They're massive compared to almost.
I'm glad
everybody in the
Chandio
division.
won that fight too, because sometimes the referees, if they're not as familiar with Karate Combat's rule set, they'll rank the grappling higher than it needs to be. But the thing is, in Karate Combat, an effective takedown is taking the opponent down and then immediately following up with a strike. If you're not causing damage, then the takedown basically means nothing.
Yeah.
MMA takes a very position over submission mentality. 100%. And so when a lot of these MMA fighters come to Karate Combat, they tend to just focus on that. They have that instinct of getting position, and they don't even get the right position sometimes, which is the knee on belly or standing, because you need to be bouncing back up if you land in a grounded position. But in Karate Combat, it's all about damage and control, and that's something I'm going to keep repeating so that any fighter that watches this can have that seared into their head, because that's what you need for Karate Combat. Ground and pound is about damage and control.
Yeah, and shout out Awesome too. He did a really good job explaining that in the rules meeting to them. And I feel like it's better when we have like Mark and them on board as our refs, because they do it so much that they actually fucking understand Karate Combat. It's always that one fucking ref though. Always that one fucking ref where I'm like,
Ashiroka actually was the perfect example. I posted this on my X too. Ashiroka actually had the perfect example of how to use grappling in Karate Combat. Like we were talking about her boxing, but the way that she got the clinch, immediately started throwing knees. Because that's what you have to do. When you get the clinch, you have to immediately cause damage or go for the takedown. So she was causing the damage, which let her get the takedown, and then was immediately throwing legal strikes.
On fucking point with it. Yeah, shout out Ashiroka. Yeah, those are my two though. Chandio, Ashiroka, India and Pakistan. Dude, shout out them two. Definitely put on. Can't wait to see both of them fight again. I'm gonna end it there.
My underrated fight was Adam Noy versus Ali Zanfar.
Yo, can we talk about this real quick? I'm not gonna lie. I love Ali. I love Adam, but I think Ali Zanfar won that fight. I'm just saying.
I don't know about all that.
I gotta rewatch and score.
Rewatch it.
It was a close fight.
I don't think we should have went to a fourth. I'm gonna be real.
I don't think we should have went to a fourth for Adam Noy.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I think Adam Noy won the first 3 rounds.
Ooh. Maybe we should watch this back together.
We're
gonna have a film session. Me and Peckers are gonna have a film session.
And this is the issue is because if one judge agrees with Pickers and one judge agrees with King Apollo, you get your 4th round.
Exactly. And that's what happened. And you know what, bro? It was super close. Like nothing against either guy. Like I said, I love Adam Noy. Ali Zanfar is also one of my favorites in that division. A freaking dog. I watched him last Dubai. Me and him got to chop it up afterwards. One of the good guys that I've met, and just like super humble, cool dude. That was a super close fight, man. Damn, we should have talked about that a little more. But yeah, man, that was a real close one, man. But you know what? All in all, they both put on a fucking performance. Adam Noy got through the last round. The judges felt like he did what it took. And at the end of the day, I can't argue with the judges when you let it go to the judges. I can't argue for you. You let the judges make your decision. That's their decision. So
that's a great line.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should do a rewatch and each of us score each round and see how our judges' scores would, if we even get to a third a fourth round in
I'm
on a
down.
rematch.
I want to find. I know it's an AI out there that could go through the fight and like watch every hit and shit. I'm gonna try to find that.
AI.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to figure that shit out. All right, pickers, what's your honorable mentions for the fight so we can get these people on up out of here?
Oh boy, honorable mention for the fights. I'm just gonna go cliche and basic because it's worth it. Sam
Let's
Alvey.
do it. Let's go,
Yeah, just gonna go for it because holy crap, he knocked out Tyrone Spong.
bro.
What the hell? That's
Holy
crazy.
fucking shit, dude. Hold on. Let's see if I can get the audio for you guys. I think I have it right here. Yeah, here it is. Look. Hold on. Will it play it? You son of a biscuit. You better play this. You son of a biscuit. No, it's not. Fuck, it won't do it. Oh man, it's literally screaming. Oh my god, he just became the double champ. I lost my mind. I couldn't even record. My phone was just everywhere. I was freaking out. I was flinging my
I know
arms.
that's not the point of honorable mentions, but that just took over the whole event for me by a mile.
100%. Was there any?
Oh, you know what? I'll give one. Arman Sarukian.
Yes, we didn't talk about Arman. Shout out Arman for coming out, man. He was really humble too, real chill. Him and Muhammad. To be honest with you guys, from my like what I've heard about Muhammad, what I've seen about Muhammad versus me actually meeting the guy, night fucking day. And maybe he's turned a new leaf and he's starting to see like, you know, maybe I should have more humility. Maybe I should be a little more humble. Dude was a fucking G. He was chill as shit. He was humble as fuck. I met him. I literally, first person I seen as I got out of my transport from the airport was Muhammad Mokaev and his team. And I went up, I spoke. I said, hey, what's up? I'm one of the announcers, blah, blah, blah. I'm super excited to see you fight. I've watched you in the UFC for a very long time, you know, and I'm super excited you're over here, blah, blah. And he sat there and talked to me for a little bit. He's asking me questions and I was asking him questions. He was super dope. So shout out Muhammad Mokaev, class act. I think we're really starting to see him turn a new leaf. I think Karate Khan is beautiful for him. And like Awesome said, his job is to get him back into the UFC. And I would love to see that. I would love to see us be able to facilitate that, right? Give him somewhere to be for right now, kind of show that he's kind of evolved and grown up as a fighter and be able to go back to the UFC and possibly get his title shot because he was super close to getting it. So shout out Muhammad Mokaev, shout out Arman Sarukian, all of them. Also, one more thing before we go. We have quite a few Indian fighters. We have quite a few Pakistan fighters. I want to say right now there's a lot going on over there. But we want to pray for everybody whose families out there. I don't matter what you believe in, what you do, man, whoever you believe in, just send some prayers out for the innocent people out there that have absolutely nothing to do with what the government's got going on. There's a lot of innocent people that get hurt with their knees. It's bombs on borderlines. It's bombs in cities. It's bombs everywhere. It's going down. This has been a very long beat between India and Pakistan for a very long time, across sports, across politics, across a lot of things. I think at the end of the day, we all want to just see it end. We all want to see them come to an agreement. It kind of sucks because, like I said, we have athletes on both sides, and you don't want to see this type of thing happen. But I think all in all, just from the Warriors' voice, we want to extend our hearts to everybody that, you know, and praying that you guys, we all make it through this and they come to a good decision so that we don't have to see anybody, any more innocent people lose their lives in this situation. So our prayers out to the Pakistani and the Indian people out there. Please hold your heads right now. We know it's tough for you guys. And any of our fighters that have families, trust we have your families in our hearts. And we're hoping everybody's okay right now over there. I'm not going to go too deep into the situation. If you want to search it up, it's all over the news. You guys could look at it. But I just want to extend that out there because we do have quite a few fighters from that side of the world. And I want to make sure we extend our condolences to anybody who has lost anybody in the process, and just our love and show that we're here. We support you guys regardless of the fact. We love people here now. And in Warriors' voice, we have a very diverse cast here, like very diverse. You know, we got Jewish, we got Puerto Ricans, we got African Americans, we got all types, right? And it just shows that like we're all for the people, and that's all I want to show from here on out, man, is that we are a show for the people, and all of the other stuff is nothing. We don't care about that. We care about people here and loving them and making the world go around. So our hearts go out to the people out there, and hopefully this shit can get done. You know, hopefully some shit can get settled. And yeah, I hate to end on a bad note, not like a little sadder note like that, but it's something I felt like had to be said, especially because one of our champions is a Pakistan. Our president is from Pakistan, right? One of our matchmakers is from Pakistan. We just had an Indian fighter on our Asharoka, who's Indian fighter on the card. We had Indians before that fight on the card as well. So I feel like that's something that need to be said. So,
Well, clarification: awesome American of Pakistani and Iraqi.
Yeah. I mean, but still, same thing. I mean, we're all. I'm you American with Puerto Rican descent. We don't go too much into what's the names, but yes, definitely want to extend those heartwarming feelings to everybody, and and hopefully next week we'll have better news on that situation, and not worse. So we're manifesting that. Knock on wood. We love you guys. Appreciate y'all. I know this is the Unorthodox Show on Wednesday. We've never done a Wednesday, but also this is episode 30. We have done 30 of these things so far. Yes, this is episode 30. So shout out episode 30. It was a special one. Yeah, it was a special one. I didn't say it until now. I just realized it that this is episode 30. So we did our KC
30-30, boys. Let's go.
30-30, baby. So yeah, KC 54 breakdown. That's a wrap. That's MMA pickers. To the side of me, below me, but not beneath me, my man Mac Tyson, the Karate Combat Encyclopedia and the combat sports, analyst from the gods sent above. We love him so much. And pickers, I think maybe before you leave, we'll get your bet.
I'll give you 3 picks right now.
All right, let's go. We'll get 3 picks from pickers, and then we're out of here. Let's do it.
All right. Pick number 1. We're taking Valentina Shevchenko at dog money because when the hell is that available?
Dude,
Plus
what?
Money line.
I've already slammed it. Love it.
Pick number 2. JDM versus Bilal Muhammad to go the distance. Minus 150. You know that one's going to the distance.
Let's go.
You know that one's going to the distance.
It's going to distance.
And then the third pick that I really like, also coming in at plus 120. Jasmine Jasdovikas to beat Jessica Andrade via decision. Jessica Andrade has good grappling defense, but her wrestling isn't quite there. I do think Jasmine Jasdovikas is going to control her on the ground. She's a lot taller and longer, which is going to give Jessica Andrade problems reaching her. The only way I really see this going bad is if Andrade finds that power shot and puts her lights out, because Andrade can put anybody's lights out in the division. So I would say take Jasdovikas plus 120, and if you want to, get a little insurance, put a tiny little sprinkle on Andrade by KO.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with all of those. Yeah, Shevchenko, I thought it was my boy texted me like 3 days ago once he got to Montreal. Shout out my boy Gian with V-Chain. He got to Montreal. He was like, Shevchenko's a favorite. What is this? He's like, so he put 1,000 on Sam Alvey, won 7K. He's like, I think I should just throw it up. I should throw it all on Shevchenko. I was like, no. Put what you bet on Sam on her. Keep the 6K. You'll still be up even if you lose with her.
Run the whole thing. Let's go.
Nah, he put $1,000 on her. He put another $1,000 on her. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. I mean, we'll all know how that works out at the end of the week. But hopefully he'll be up another like 1,000 or some change. But yeah, shout out Sam. I owe Sam a steak dinner as well. So yeah, shout out good old Sammy for bringing through for USA. If you slammed that bet, you were a smart motherfucker. But listen, this is the Warriors' voice. Yeah, USA. USA. Let's go,
I
man.
can't hear
the
USA. Sacrilegious.
Yeah, we couldn't even say that over there, but you know what? It's all good. We were a little outnumbered. Next time he'll fight in the States, and we'll be able to do that chant. But this is the Warriors' Voice, episode 30. Like I said, it's MMA Pickers, my man Mac Tyson. This show is brought to you by Brave Browser and Karate Combat. Download Brave Browser right now if you want one of the safest browsers on the internet. I haven't seen an ad on YouTube in years. You know why? Because I use Brave Browser, and they reward you for looking at their ads as well. Karate Combat, download the app now. Vote on your favorite fighters, and you can only win. You can't lose. I mean, you can only win with both of our sponsors. Does that make any sense? It makes a lot of sense. That's because we only win at the Warriors' Voice. We love you guys. Have a great night. Have a great day. Have a happy fucking hump day. And we'll see you soon. I don't know when. I'll update you guys on the Twitter. But we love you. See you later. Deuce.